I just thank you so much for being here.
You are so welcome. Thank you for asking me.
All right. So tell us about your entrepreneurial journey. I know it wasn't always like roses and bunny rabbits.
No, absolutely not. And I love Behind the Brand because there's always a story. There's always a build. There's always setbacks. Like people just see, especially with social media, everybody sees the recognition and the success and the money and all the things, and they don't know all that went into it. And obviously, you've been following me in my world for so long. You've seen even the transformation since we've met. So in 2011, I started my first brand. It was called Fit Kim. I have PhDs in natural health and holistic nutrition. I was a personal trainer. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be a YouTube star. I'm going to have a blog because I was following all these people to learn how to be healthy and, follow people. I would do their workouts and stuff like that. And they were huge accounts. I was like, I could totally do that. And I was just thought for sure I was going to be this like huge success, this millionaire. So I started my YouTube channel, started my blog, and I started creating like content and courses. And my aunt-in-law like bought something, but that was like it. And so I just was like a dog with a bone. I just would not give up. I would go to conferences and sign up for courses and programs, all the things. And it's cost money too, this, to have a website and all this stuff. So for 6 years, I didn't make any money. And in fact, I got audited one year because they were like, how can somebody lose this much money every year? And I was like, no, I really did lose that much money. Like, here's proof. And I got out of the audit, but they were just like not believing it because it was that bad, you guys. And so I want to share that with you so you understand that most people would give up at that point. They say the average business, within 5 years, the majority fail. Well, I didn't even have a successful business going. I was just like struggling and trying things. So in 2017, I did get into direct sales for the first time. I was really resistant to it, like I think a lot of people are. And I figured, I was at a job I hated. We were in debt, had two new babies. I was like, well, I've got this girl that told me about it. Her name's Victoria. I'd known her for a while. She was having success. Like she'd got a car and had money. And I was like, well, I mean, I got to, yeah, like maybe I should go do that. So I just said, I'm going to do anything you say. I'm coachable, but if this doesn't work, like I'm going to return this kit, like forget this. And I got my first comma check. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to quit my job. And then my check was like $200. And so I realized, I was just self-sabotaging, which was also an underlying story in all of this. So I struggled with alcohol use for over a decade. And I just felt that grip of like, cool, like you have this opportunity to change your family tree and get out of debt and like quit your job and be there for your kids. Like they were both in daycare. My little one, I like didn't even ever see her, like all the little things. I missed her first steps. So I just was like, I gotta figure something out. So I enlisted professional support and did a lot of inner work. I mean, really anyone who has a bad mindset or addiction or anything like that, it all comes down to our thoughts. What was I thinking every day, all day long about myself? So worked on reprogramming my subconscious mind, did that, and I was able to step into sobriety of August 1st of 2017 to keep track of that stuff, and everything changed after that. It was like God, I could hear God. It had always been part of my life, but I felt like I could actually hear and believe that I was worthy versus people just telling me how great I was. Because I've always done well in corporate and school and things like that. But I really believed it for the first time that I was lovable, that I was worthy. I didn't have to do anything, I didn't have to achieve or strive. And as they say, the rest is history. It's like just something clicked. I started watching webinars and trainings about personal branding because I was watching the ones that were having success because I was with Moni, as you know. The girls that were crushing it were on social media and they would be like with their kids and showing their shampoo. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay. So I was very good at watching like Tanya Eliza. I was watching her. I was watching Jessica Higdon, like these, girls, women that had really crushed it in that space. And that's what I love about you, Cindy, is that you're so coachable. You're always like, okay, how can I go faster? How can I learn from those around me? And that's what I did. So I started posting on social media every day. I haven't missed since. I started building a personal brand. The girls were 1 and 2.5 at the time, showing that I forgot the diapers and I had to drive back and get the diapers at the grocery store and head off to work and just started sharing my life. I started going live, started interviewing people like you, started my first group, a lot of starting. and things started taking off in my direct sales business. Someone asked me to coach them, and I was like, coach? I don't know how to coach people. I was like, I can call you. And I started coaching in my car on the way to work, and then had my first paid workshop teaching people about business planning and vision boards. And I launched Gold Digger Girl Co. that spring. I hit 6 figures in 90 days, quit my job a few months later, and I've been able to build my online business since then. And obviously, because you see what I do. Done a lot of things since then, but that's how it all started.
So the Gold Digger Girl company that you launched, what year was that?
I started building my personal brand at the end of 2017, and then had my first coaching client paid workshop very end of 2017, and then officially launched Gold Digger. It was actually the Gold Digger Girl in the spring, so it was like March of 2018.
Okay, so I mean, really, if you think about it, not that long, because the typical career is way longer than that.
Yeah,
the success that you have seen in a short amount of time, but you didn't quit. And that's the thing that I think that I was a hairdresser for so many years, and you go to beauty school, and they say things to you like, you can make so much money in this business, but then these kids get out on the floor and they're like, this is hard work. Yeah, it is.
It is hard work.
You can make really good
hard work. Yeah, you work so hard just like I do. And we can take time off, and like Scott and I went, our girls are at camp, so we had a date day yesterday, and we went to the movies in the middle of the day, we went and got coffee, and it was just like, this is so awesome. Like we can just take that time off, but it's hard work. Yeah. It's not like, ask anybody who's been around the block for a little bit. There are so many ups and downs to doing this. It is hard work. And I think that's why a lot of people do give up.
What advice would you give your younger entrepreneurial self?
Well, I think that the part that's the hardest is when you're going through this for the first time, where, you hired your first VA, and then money's coming in, but the expenses start going up really high, and understanding, oh, wait, like I have to manage this better. All those things, or the market retracting, the market's real. Social media, online marketing, the economy, it's all real. It's all changes all the time. When people are afraid of things happening in the world, that reflects in their spending. When I went through all of that stuff, I thought something was wrong with me. Like I had made bad hiring decisions. I was being irresponsible with my money. And now that I've gone through it enough and seen the patterns, I've realized, no, that's just part of the game, And so I wished I would have known going into it. Maybe I wouldn't have gone into it. Maybe that's why I don't know. But I wish I would have known that all the things I went through were normal. It is completely normal to have the ups and downs. It's completely normal to make mistakes every 5 seconds. Like, how else are you supposed to learn and grow if you don't, And so that would have been really comforting to know that early on.
Okay, yeah, definitely. All right, so what don't people see behind your success? What's the behind the scenes things that people don't see that come out?
Yeah. One of the books by Grant Cardone, Obsessed or Be Average, I remember listening to that, shaking my head, being like, finally somebody says it, because I think there's this stigma. Now, I'm not saying hustle culture is good and, you get sick or something. It's not what I'm saying. But I am extremely disciplined, like obsessed. Okay. So if I have, we drove into town yesterday. It was about 20 minutes. I'm fast now, but I created a reel for CEO Optimized and a reel for the Gold Digger Girl on the way. Like most people would be like, oh, I'm just going to listen to music, which is fine. Like knock yourself out. But I'm doing that all the time. I'm looking for any little minute to catch up on messages, go in my stories, comment on some people's stuff. The behind the scenes, I don't think people understand how focused and disciplined. I do have ADHD, so it is something that I've had to really work on. The other part is, I have a team that works with me now. When I first started out, it was just me for a really long time. Hitting that first 6 figures, it was just me. I was like, here's my PayPal email. Like it was just, I had a notebook with names. And you remember Anna, my first VA, quickly became full-time, but I was doing it by myself. So I was the one writing the emails and releasing the podcast and sending out, I was doing all of that. I'm not saying you have to have a team, but at this point, having a, 8-figure company that we've built up to, I do have a team to support me. So if you do see people who it seems like they're writing 50,000 emails and their social media up and you're just like, I can't keep up, I can't compete. You're not supposed to keep up and you're not supposed to compete. You're going to have seasons of growth and you'll have times when you have less helping you. Maybe it's just you. But I would say the thing behind the scenes is, yes, I have support that helps me at this point, and they're amazing, just incredible women. Like each one of them is equal to like 4 people because they're like me, they're so focused, so committed. They care about our ladies so much. And it's just that hyper focus and discipline to do the things. I heard this somewhere. I think it was Henry Ford, but it's no, Abraham Lincoln. Its character is doing something you said you were going to do it long after the excitement has passed.
Yes.
So it's exciting. Addison gave me this whole thing, my daughter, what she was going to do, and then she didn't do anything with it. And then she came up to me and had another idea. Didn't do anything. Comes up with third. I go, let's stop for a second. You are all about the ideas. You are creative. She's going to be an entrepreneur. You can just see it. I go, the part you're going to need to work on is implementing your idea and not jumping around to 50,000, things here. And so I think that's something that people don't realize how important it is the implementation, having an actual plan in place and getting the help that you need for the things that you maybe can't do.
It was interesting because the one thing that you said, that you find little pockets of time to do those things, and you personally voicemail or answer people, which the first time you did that years ago, you don't even remember. I thought she like voice messaged me. Oh, that was crazy incredible, because you just have this picture in your mind that you've got all these little minions running around doing all your work and you're just sitting up there,
Oh yeah. No, I've had people say that, like very surprised, like, oh, I'm actually talking to you. And I was like, well, who else would you be talking to?
I know, but not that many people do that. So,
but and you're very good at this as well. That is my greatest asset. It's the greatest thing that I can pour into is relationships. It's more important than personal branding, because I've worked with women who couldn't be forward facing with their brands because of their work or whatnot, or ex-husbands or divorce situations. We're able to build their business in the DMs. We're able to build it on Zooms. Like, we're able to do it off of social media. So it trumps everything as far as all the things that you could focus on. It would absolutely be in conversations, getting to know women like you. That's absolutely needs to be essential for everyone.
Yeah. It's just like with anything. And back when, I always refer to this, back when I was doing hair, back in the olden days, you used to take a picture of yourself, put it in the newspaper and say, haircuts half off. Would anybody come in? No. I mean, who are you? Yeah, who are you? I don't know who you are. If you're only charging half for a haircut, I mean, how good can you be, right? And I used to think this is the worst money spend I've ever done, because nobody shows up for it, but everybody does it. So you think that you're supposed to, right?
Yeah.
No, building the relationship. So it wasn't until I started going out into the community, joining groups, talking to people, and my business flourished after that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hello.
And the people know you. They trust you. I have so many women in my community just leaving reviews, raving fans of interacting with you, doing business with you, learning from you. It's because you've also made that a priority.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I mean it. It's so funny. I just you got to get Roxy out of my office, because if she starts losing her mind, I'm not going to be able to focus.
I know, this is crazy.
The only one.
No, oh my gosh. So what was your, how do you handle setbacks? Now that's one thing that is so hard for people, because just like, say, haters. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, because I feel that from people, and I get that from people,
Yeah.
that they get one hater and then they're afraid it's like it paralyzes you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first time I got a hater was right when I started that YouTube channel and blog. One person said my workout clothes looked like they were from Walmart. Scott and our weekly grocery budget was $60 a week. We didn't have two pennies to pinch together. My clothes were from Walmart. They were probably actually from Goodwill. And I burst into tears. And Scott said to me, thank goodness, he said, that's just some loser hiding behind a computer screen. You're actually trying to help people. It was like, oh my gosh, you're so right. And so luckily I had someone that I trusted that was able to say that, but I know a lot of women don't have that. They might even have the opposite, where their spouse or they're on their own. They don't have someone in their corner. Now there have been lots of things since then. I mean, I had to redo an entire book one time because of a hater situation, like redo the book. I've had people go live talking about, not a lot, but I've had people go live talking about how horrible I am. This is what I always say to myself. Is there any truth in this? Meaning, do I need to rectify the situation? Do I need to apologize? I do that first. 99% of the time, the answer is no. If there's that 1%, I do it. I actually had someone I was interacting with, and I said, I messed up on that. What I had said to you about XYZ. I said, I'm so sorry about that. And she's like, no problem. So you first pause and ask yourself, is there any truth in that? And then the next thing I say to myself, if there isn't, I have nothing to apologize for. That person is clearly projecting their insecurities. They wish that they could be doing what I'm doing, meaning they wish they could speak up boldly. And you and I are a great example. We haven't always seen eye to eye on certain, beliefs and things like that, but we respect each other. And so why do people have to go around and be freaking offended about everything? It's ridiculous. We can be kind and firm, and because of where we live, we have the right to speak up of what we believe in. We have a right to share our own lives if we want to, And there's been times when Scott's like, did you really have to post that? Because, maybe he shared our struggles with finances or something. And he knows his friends from school, high school, work even are going to see it. And I'll look at him and I'll just say, I know there's someone who needs to hear that today. And thank goodness, he gets it enough to let me, do that. And I know that there's probably women out there who don't have that. And you know what, if you do have that kind of pushback, or maybe, your mom or something, do everything you can to put some boundaries in place. So if you have your mom in your ear, because I have real clients right now that, as soon as they post something, the mother's getting at them. Just realize that there's something you are doing that's triggering them, even though they're not able to articulate that. And instead of them being self-aware to realize that, they're just not there. They're probably never going to get there. So put boundaries up just to say, you know what, this is going to have to be off the table. I'm doing what I believe is right. And for me, I always say what I believe God wants me to do. Someone else might say I'm doing what I believe is right in my heart. I feel like I'm helping people, and that's what I'm going to focus on. So since this is always causing conflict, we're just going to have to agree to disagree, and it's just not on the table. So putting boundaries in place will help you. But no, there was, I don't know if you ever saw, is it Sex in the City? But when there was the billboard, it was Samantha's boyfriend that was a model. And there was some rumor going around that he was gay or whatever. And she's like, yes, and he's like, what? And she's like, any publicity is good publicity. So guys, if you are getting hate, you know what that means? That means you're showing up. Because if you're vanilla and you're playing it safe, you're not. But if you can get one negative comment, I'm over here cheering for you, because that means you are showing up boldly despite the fear. That's what this is all about, is us being an example to others, to show them what it means to shine our light bright. It's just being ourselves and sharing who we are. And social media can be a great place. It can make a positive impact on others. And I believe that with all my heart.
Yes. And the person that is putting that out there, it's really their issue. And the problem is that, ever since we were little, we're taught that, we take, manifests itself into them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be. And so when I got my first big hater, just not that long ago, I was like,
oh, who it is, I'll take them.
I help people. And then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? If I think about it, it really wasn't about me all along. It was about their failures. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
They'll work through it, and someday they'll, maybe realize that they were mean
Yes.
girls.
Yeah. And the judgment will be sorted, and it's not ours.
But I think about it too, Hey, we're all gonna stand there that one day and look back. Anyway, all right. So let's move on. Let's see. Marketing. So what's working well today? Because it's changing fast.
Yeah, absolutely. You know this because you're very flexible as well. I mean, between the two of us, I feel like every time you're updating, you're on a call, you're rolling out different things. You're like, oh, I noticed people are liking that. So you've actually been doing this intuitively. One of the things I noticed towards the end of last year is that, launching, we used to do 5-day, even 9-day launches. People aren't hanging around for the full length of that, wasn't getting the conversion on it. So I actually found that people wanted like custom offers. We were finding that people who are going to spend more, they wanted things done for them. That's a big one right now, depending on what space you're in. Even if you're in network marketing is a great example. Get the card info from the person, find out what they want, and put their order in for them. Like people are so busy, just want it done for them. And the other thing is what worked before isn't working anymore. And so, like I said before about what I wish I would have known, I wish I would have known that like when I first started launching, would have 6-figure launches, like crazy numbers. I thought it was going to be like that forever. And what I've learned is you literally don't know. And I can't stand it when I've had coaches who are like, okay, what do you want your income to be? How many people do you want to sign up for that thing? And I'm like, I can tell you all day long what I want, but I can't control how many people are going to convert. Like, are you smoking crack here? So I think just realizing that things change and are changing, buyer behavior is changing. They've kind of burnt out and jaded. They've tried the network marketing products. They've tried the coaching. So understanding that people are more cautious, they're slower to purchase. So those, like we talked about with relationships, got to stay top of mind, stay in touch, and then on the fly offers. So a couple months ago, we launched something called the Pod. You probably saw it. And I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? I know there's a lot of women out there that really want to start a podcast, but they just get overwhelmed by the idea of it. And what if, since we've had ours since 2018, it's very successful. What if we just did that for people and we launched the Pod? Like literally I gave my team like 2 weeks notice, and that was just enough to like get a payment link set up, right? And we didn't have anything built out and we just launched it. So I think those on the fly, if you're talking to somebody in Messenger, offer a call. People want to talk to you first because of that reservation to even purchase. So doing more consults or discovery calls, whatever you want to call them, those calls are gold. And I wasn't doing those forever because we didn't need to with the way that the marketplace was. So I would say definitely look for ways to hop on a quick 20-minute with people and customizing those offers for that person. So don't get stuck in your head that this is what I offer, but also be okay if you launch something and it falls flat. I'm sure you've had that happen where you're like, I thought this was going to be amazing and it wasn't. That resilience and understanding that there are ebbs and flows, knowing that it's all going to work out. I mean, we both have a roof over our head no matter what we've come through. God's gotten you to where you are right now. Like he's going to get you through it. Where your income comes in probably isn't going to be where you thought it was going to come in, if that makes sense.
Oh, it totally makes sense. And amazing, I was on a call last night. The thing is that if you think it will happen. Like if you build it, they will come. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that, and that's that whole mindset thing. We didn't even talk about mindset, but I'll tell you what, when I first started Kimberly's first program, I remember the first module was about mindset. And I'm like, mindset? What is this? I don't need this part.
Good stuff.
I'll just skip it. And I started to listen to it and I'm like, that actually makes a lot of sense. And I didn't realize how much that made the business go, everything go. So mindset is something that you have to, just like reshifting your mind after the hate or getting up in the morning and, every part of your body aches or whatever, and you're super tired. Stop and just get your mind straight because it's going to be another day. And tonight, you can sleep.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, is like the mindset thing. And I'll tell you what, you're the one that introduced me to that, because I had no idea what that meant. I was like, mindset.
Mhm.
That is, but
It's everything. I'm working with this girl. She's 14. Very, she's an athlete and has received national recognition. And her parents, I mean, think about 14. Her parents started noticing her mindset was getting worse and worse and worse. And they were smart enough to be like, okay, let's seek outside counsel, because this isn't working. And so I've been working with her, and they said she's like a new kid. And it's so cool because I wish I would have had that as a teenager. And what people don't realize is that whatever you're thinking about yourself, you're gonna externally see that, like you said. Your thoughts are repetitive, obviously, and over time they create beliefs. So you've developed these beliefs, whether they're from childhood, like you were talking about, or someone said something, you start believing it, and the doubt will creep in, and the thoughts are so repetitive that eventually they become a belief. And then what happens is when you actually believe something like that, you will work to reinforce it. You will work to prove it to be right, because that belief is through your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind wants to verify that it's true. And it's this loop. So stopping, like you said, just stop. As soon as you notice your thoughts are not supporting you, I literally do that, by the way. I'm more like, it's automatic now, but I remember, I remember my old office, and I would just be like, wait, stop thinking that. That's absolutely not true. And that's not helping you. Choose a new thought. And that's a habit, but and it's discipline. I mean, it's such discipline to stop and choose a new thought. But if you can do that, eventually the new thought will become so repetitive that you develop a new belief, and then you start to get a better result.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. All right. So let's see. What about if, let's see. Okay, let's talk a little bit about AI, because I know that there's so much around this that people have a tendency to, push back on. But think about all the things that have evolved over the years, that turned out to be a norm. And AI is here to stay. It's not
Yeah.
going
It's not
anywhere.
going there.
So I just think you should figure out how you can,
Best
use,
you.
yeah, and best practices too. You
Yeah.
don't want to overkill on it, but it can help a lot. And so,
Yeah. I mean, I would ask yourself, in your business, where do you need to be? Where AI couldn't ever be you, or it doesn't make sense. For example, going live, that's going to be me. Relationships in Messenger. Now, I will use AI agents eventually and be able to, talk to new leads that come in and have that all, through AI. But I'm going to jump into that conversation and voice memo them, like you said. I'm going to do consults with people. I'm going to come up with creative ideas for things that we're going to launch. I'm going to do book launch calls because we have a publishing company. I'm going to do our custom branding package calls because I'm the best one at it, meaning that's a gift that God has given me, is to help that person build out their brand. I'm not going to AI that. Now, I have lots of AI videos I use to make reels. I use AI. I haven't done a photo shoot, a real one, like start to finish, since 2024. And I used to have to do those like frequently because the amount of content we put out. Oh, it's the best thing ever, right? Just a virtual photo shoot. We had a new client, and I personally built out all of her PDFs. We did this big bundle. I think there were like 4 of them. Her favorite worship playlist, her favorite scripture, all this stuff. I used AI to make the PDFs and handed it to my team to build out the funnel. I just made a bunch of funnels with Studio AI, and Go High Level Social Connector. And I'm just like, what's so cool about this? One, it's working while I'm doing other things, but it's allowing me to get those lead magnet, or the lead magnets, the funnels done, and get them out. It's allowing me to put out more real content. It's allowing me to not be traveling doing photo shoots. So what are the things in your business that doesn't have to be you? And thinking about where you're spending your time. And then the overwhelm is just a choice. You're making it a choice to be overwhelmed by it. Like you said, Cindy, it's not going away. My kids both know how to use it. They're 5th grade and 7th grade. going into. It's not going away. Okay. So just get with the times, people, but don't be overwhelmed. That's why you need to hang around people like Cindy, because this is what she does. She makes tech simple. So learn from others that get it. Learn from those that are good teachers and can break it down.
Let me spend the hours and hours trying to
Yes.
figure out all the little things, and then I knew how to do it, because that's the last thing I used to want to have to do. But for me, I just like, it's like a dog going for a bone. I gotta get it. I gotta get it done.
Absolutely.
So, and I just had one yesterday that I finally figured it out. I was so excited. It was like, yes.
Love when that happens.
I know. So, all right. So your favorite AI tools, you already said.
Yeah, Photo AI. I use it for photos and videos, and then ChatGPT and Claude. I use them for different things. ChatGPT I actually love for image creation, like flyers, like the graphic you made is awesome, and like could whip that up with AI. I love it. Claude though, I love that for building out the PDFs and more robust things. It can go in my calendar, it can go into Canva, it can go into Asana and do projects. Like it's gonna like get in there, So I use them both every day.
So what I did for those graphics is I went into your Facebook and I grabbed images of you, and I fed it in ChatGPT, and I said, I need this banner.
Look how good that
was. I know. And it was great. I was like, all right, well, let's do it.
It looks so good. Like that, I saw that. I'm like, yes.
So I had about 7 or 8 photos of you and 7 or 8 photos of me, and I said, just make it up.
Do your thing. Yeah. It's just wonderful.
And that's what it does. So, I mean, I use it all the time. I remember, I just got to tell the story really quick. I had a client a year and a half ago or so that I was building some stuff out for, and there was a photo in there that I had put in a lead magnet that I had grabbed off her Facebook, and she flipped out because she said it was AI and she didn't want it in there because her friends would, see that and they wouldn't care for it. Well, I don't work for her anymore, but she pops up on my feed all the time, and guess what she's using for all of her stuff?
All of
AI, everything.
Don't hate the game, everyone. It's just part of it. And if there's something you want to see different in the world, like maybe you're like AI is irresponsible, like be the change. Go out there and make some money, and then you can go start a nonprofit or contribute to another one or plant some trees. But it really is not going away.
It's not going away. Yeah, but definitely.
Yeah,
all right. So, one automation you can't live without.
Well, right now that would be ManyChat, but we're going to recreate it inside of Go High Level.
So it works really good.
Workflows. Yeah. So I would say we have so much content that we put out on all the platforms and our 2 main accounts that it's really hard to keep up with all the comments and everything. So the ManyChat automation, I would say for me personally right now, and Rihanna, would be that where those people are being responded to.
Yeah, but you guys do a good job.
Most of her.
Yeah. You do a great job. All right. So we're going to wrap up, but we're going to do a quick fire.
A quick what?
A quick fire.
Okay.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Morning or night?
Morning.
Favorite productivity app?
Actually, right now I love my Aura ring.
Ooh, I want one of those.
Yes, it's amazing.
Favorite AI tool?
Yeah. Still probably ChatGPT. Yeah.
Favorite business book?
Business book. Oh my word. I can't even pick one. If y'all are starting out, it would be You Are a Bad ASS by Jen Sincero.
Oh, yeah.
Get the yellow one first. Everyone needs that.
All right. And one word that defines success. Yes. That is it.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Well, this has been wonderful. It's just like hanging out with my bestie, and
yeah. And also, I want to mention we've only had one, but you were our honorary part of the Gold Digger Hall of Fame. So, of all the ladies we worked with over the years, resounding choice was you. The team picked you. God was like, "It's Cindy," and then I ran it by the team. They're like, "Yep, hands down, it's Cindy."
Oh, I loved it too. It's just something super special. It's right here. You guys can't see it. I don't know, but I love it. I got my picture of Kimberly.
I know. I remember that moment like it was yesterday.
I love it. Well, I love you. Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you guys for jumping on. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to see the replay, but give back to me. Tell me what you got out of this. And yeah, let's see some success out there.
Woohoo! Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.